And welcome to the Recruiting Intel on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm your host, Justin Wells. With me, as always, is the man, Coach Dub, Charlie Williams, our good buddy Joe Cook, who's usually with us on these Tuesdays. He's a little busy right now with a SARC press conference and some other things going on. So we decided we'll handle it zone read style. Before we jump into it, and we got some guys to talk about, KJ Edwards, John Turntine. There's kind of a semi-big weekend coming to Austin this weekend. There's going to be some recruits in the house, so we're going to cover those guys. And you actually talked to a handful of them before they even got on board. But before we do that, hey, come see us at InsideTexas.com. We really are having a lot of fun this year. Hey, here's our special. For $1, you get 4 months. That's going to get you right up until fall camp.
Yeah.
You get everything from the rest of spring ball, the rest of recruiting in the spring, June official visits, commits jumping and going in July and August, and then, like I said, beginning of fall football. For $1, 4 months only. Come see us at InsideTexas.com. It really is the best time. That's a quarter a month. And now I'm not good at math. I'm really not. But just real quick, that sounds like a quarter a month. Yeah. And I got to tell you, that's a pretty good deal. Charlie, let's jump into it. Look, a couple Saturdays ago, Texas hosted a handful of guys, and they came away with some pretty big names. They came away with a commitment in Nicholas Robertson, the four-star offensive lineman out of Spring Klein. Now there's a couple really important dudes coming on Saturday. Let's get started on the offensive side of the ball. I got one guy I'm going to talk about, but you're going to talk about the most important one that's going to be on campus first, and that is the counterpart to Felix Ojo, the 1A to the 1B. That's John Turntine from North Crowley. You caught up with him lately? He hasn't been to Austin in a while. A lot of people have just been talking about Ojo. They haven't really been mentioning him a whole lot. What do we need to know about John Turntine? Because you have been on top of this from day one.
Hey, well, Dr. Turntine, as the family calls him, look, he's all about business. This trip for him is to actually go see how the sausage is made, pretty much. He wants to go see how these guys compete in the trenches, how they're being coached, but he wants to take notes and take some things he can apply to his game. He's always learning. And that's one thing he always talks about with Coach Kyle Flood is he always teaches him something new. So this is an opportunity for him to go learn more and see if he can apply it to his game. But, man, the fact that he trusts Coach Kyle Flood's teachings already bodes wonders for Texas. And so he'll be on campus. I can't wait for him to get there and just find out, everything he saw and what he learned and, go from there. But Turntine, man, being on campus again is great. After visiting everywhere else, he got a chance to see everything else at other schools and stuff like that. But let's come back to Austin where your older brother and your older sister attend. And I take that back. 3 older siblings. One's graduating from UT this May, and then the other two go to Houston-Tillotson. So it's going to be a family affair in Austin. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Okay, who is Texas' top competition for this guy? Who are the guys that the Horns are going to have to hold off to secure his signature in December?
Right now, I'd probably say you got Tennessee in the mix, who's coming on strong. Honestly, you got Michigan. Michigan really jumped in as of late. I know he just went to go visit Michigan. Those guys are really trying to push now, right? But other than that, I'd probably say just those two, the biggest ones. It's all about relationship with him and where he think he can be developed on and off the field, right? He's kind of a kid who doesn't have a set amount of school he wants to go to. He doesn't care about logos. He just wants to go where he has the best relationships at. So we kind of see where the chips may fall with this one.
And don't forget, with Turntine, Texas and Turntine have been doing this dance for 2 years now?
Yeah.
Or almost 2 years. So there's a lot of familiarity within the family, within the program, within the coaching staff. And again, I think it's a fear of missing out. I think 2 weekends ago when those recruits came in and got to see Texas practice and they read all the stuff the players and prospects were talking about, some of these guys were like, well, I got to get back on campus. Yeah. I know it worked for Felix Ojo, who we're going to talk about briefly here in just a bit. He was back on campus a few days ago. And it definitely worked for the number 3 tailback in the On3 industry rankings. That's KJ Edwards out of Carthage, Texas. This is the speed demon with the football. Almost 2,200 all-purpose yards last year, leading that Carthage Bulldogs squad to a state championship, another state championship. I think that's 9 now. Yeah. And so it's just kind of become a regular thing there. But, with KJ, look, when Tashard Choice took the job to Detroit, KJ and Texas have always been close, but it felt like Javian Osborne was probably a little bit higher of a priority to Choice on the big board. When Chad Scott came in, it feels like they flipped. Texas still really, really liked Javian Osborne, but it felt like they kind of favored KJ Edwards a little bit. And within a week, they had spoken 4 times on the phone. They had already connected with his parents and his coaching staff. And so KJ understands that Texas relationship is big. I'll tell you this, Texas A&M is not letting up. Texas A&M absolutely loves this guy, and they've got a really good recruiting staff. They've got a guy named Coach DJ Mann on that staff right now doing some great things in College Station. He's one of the best in the business.
He really is.
He's got KJ's attention, and for good reason. They also get the last official visit. If you didn't know, they get that June 20th to the 22nd spot. Texas gets it the first weekend in June, the 6th through the 8th, and he's got a decision he wants to make. I believe it's August 2nd, sometime early August when he wants to make his decision. But he's back on campus. 2 weeks ago, it was Xavier Crowell spending 2 days. This time it's going to be KJ Edwards. And I can tell you right now, those are probably the 2 top backs on the big board amongst the others. They love KJ. KJ's going to come back, and he's just like Turntine. They've been doing this song and dance for about 2 years now. He's been on campus probably a half a dozen times. They both have little brothers. They both have siblings that could turn out to be ball players. Don't be surprised if KJ's little brother, J.D. Edwards, a 2028 athlete who already has a handful of offers, he's probably going to be with Big Bro as well. He's probably an offer in the next 12 to 18 months as well. That's another speed demon similar to Clifton Jr. But just watching this tape real quick, what is it about KJ this clip right here just kind of described it. What makes him a little bit different than the other ones in your eyes?
Honestly, it's the stop and start. That very first play, man, we got to see that one live at the state championship. It reminded me of Jamal Shaw's run versus Oklahoma. It kind of bounced off 360 and then took off. It came out the crowd. He was gone, right? Wasn't nobody catching him. And KJ's the same exact way, man. His stop and start is just different. You really look at him, he's able to run through tackles just effortlessly. Like, he's a track kid, but he's a football player. I know everybody say, oh, you're a track kid who plays football. No, he's a football player who happens to run track. He's just fast. And so I think KJ is just a phenomenal athlete with the ball in his hands. You see he catches the ball on the swing screen here. And it makes a couple people miss. He's going to the house. Like, you can't coach that. You can't coach his speed. You can't coach his athletic ability. And just after the vision. Look at him. It's elite.
I guess I never put a lot of credence into his vision, but that's something I'm noticing right now.
Yeah, look at Yeah,
he's just waiting for blocks.
He is.
Big fan of this kid.
It's over.
Yeah. Big fan of this kid. I love KJ. He's also got, I believe, officials to SMU. I believe he has one other one as well. But look, this is a Texas A&M battle. I love where Texas stands right now, but you never know until it gets down to the nut cutting time. But Edwards, he'll be back on campus this weekend, and I think that's a big deal. Him and Turntine are the top guys. There are also a few other ones that we're going to talk about. But for right now, we got to throw it to our people over at Roback. I'll be honest with you. I actually picked up a little bit using that promo code.
Yeah.
That stuff is incredible. You talk about great fit, great everything. I grabbed some Roback. Let's hear what they have to say about it.
There's only one way to describe Roback. Best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Roback, they are completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Roback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite. With novel polo designs and clean hoodie and Q-zip designs from some of your favorite schools like Texas, is definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Roback's everyday shorts or their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing as well. Both are super comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that's made to have the appearance of a nice short look, but the comfort for a day on the move. Roback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with multiple college football stars like Quinn Ewers. They are becoming the go-to brand for college athletes across the country. Use the code TEXAS20 on Roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. That's RHOBACK.com and 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with Texas 20.
That's Roback. Get you a dose of that. I got to tell you, Charlie, it is comfy. it is comfy, man. I got a couple pair of them. They are definitely worth the wear. Hey, let's go over on the defensive side of the ball. We talked a little bit about offense and some of the bigger names coming in this weekend, but here's another guy out of North Carolina, Samari Matthews. I'm just going to say this right now. I have a feeling, I know it's April. I think he's in this class. I think he winds up signing with Texas. But you know what? I don't know him as well as you do. You've gotten closer to him. I believe I saw him one time at the OT7. Yep. I think you've seen him a handful of times. Talk to the fans a little bit about Samari Matthews. He's coming in this weekend, and how after that offer from Texas, that relationship just seems to have blossomed.
Yeah, definitely. He had a relationship with Coach Mark Orfe from Rutgers, right? And he's always been intrigued about Texas. He's like, Texas puts guys in the NFL. I'm a defensive back. Now they got a Coach Akina back, and I already got a great relationship with Coach Orfe.
Yeah,
Texas is a place I need to go check out, right? I play DB. I want to go to the league. I better go check Texas out. And so he was intrigued about Texas before Texas was intrigued about him. And that says a lot. He grew up as a kid. He, like you mentioned this before, he grew up as a kid who's always been a Texas fan, right? It just seems like it fits like a glove. But Samari, we saw him at OT7, man. And this guy's physical. I saw him play outside. I saw him line up in the slot. I saw him move to safety. He wanted to prove he's the best DB all around. He's long, he's physical, he's athletic. He understands the concept, read and route concepts very well. He's a communicator. You see on film here, he's very patient. I saw him in the red zone area in OT7. He didn't really give up ground. He was very patient, let the receiver make all tons of moves, and then kind of walled him off to the sideline. Like, he understands leverage and everything at such a young age. And so I love this kid's game, man. Like I said, I can't wait for him to get to Austin and visit and tell me all about it. But he's stoked about visiting Austin, learning about the culture. One thing he asked about, he said, how's the culture down there in Texas? I hear a lot about it, but how is it really, right? So he wants to find out the nitty-gritty, the meat and the potatoes, right? He cannot wait to get down there and see everything in practice, and I think it's going to be a great visit.
Samari, to me, feels like he keeps the main thing the main thing.
Definitely.
And he understands kind of what journey he's on. Being from North Carolina, what are some of us give us some of the schools that are in the hunt? And is Bill Belichick at Chapel Bill, is he going to try to get in the mix?
Yeah, you got North Carolina, but you got a lot of schools in the South, from Miami to Florida State, really pressing, trying to get him, trying to get him to move south. And so, but he's open. He doesn't care about traveling. It doesn't matter to him nor his family, right? He just wants the best fit. But those are some of the top schools that are really out there: Florida State, Miami, and North Carolina, as well as Texas.
Yeah. And does he have an idea when he wants to make a decision?
I don't think he's going to take his official visits, but it's before he starts his senior year, right? So he wants to do his due diligence, take his official visits. But you know what, these kids, if they find a place, they go there and they go visit, like, you know what, this is where I belong. It always can speed up that process. So I can't wait. That's why I cannot wait to see how this visit goes to Texas, because it's a place he's been wanting to see. He may see everything he needs on this visit this weekend. You never know.
And he's already got an official setup for Austin.
Yeah, June 13th. Yeah,
June 13th to the 15th. Very, very good. Yeah, I'm a big fan. You know, every year we get a sense about 2 or 3 guys that we come across from prospects. They look like Texas kids. And I know it sounds weird, but I say the same thing when I meet a kid that I think, okay, man, that kid's probably going to end up at Alabama. And I've seen, LSU has a type as well, where you think, man, that kid's going to be balling in Baton Rouge. Don't. For some reason, I get a Samari Matthews to Austin vibe. And I know it's April, I know it's early, but I think I think that's one to pay attention to.
Yeah, definitely.
There was a big human on campus last Thursday for Texas first scrimmage, all padded up, and he got a front row seat. He was supposed to come in the day before, or the day after, rather. He came in a day early, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of conversation around this one right now. We knew Texas was in a great spot with 5-star offensive tackle Felix Ojo since last year. I mean, I remember when you and I saw him at junior day almost a year ago, and very quiet, very timid. He's not like that anymore. He knows his value. He's very confident. He's very driven. He was on campus Thursday. And I believe you got to catch up with him. What's the latest from Felix Ojo's last trip to Texas? And is this recruitment, I mean, I'm not going to say it's over, but has Texas started pulling out the nails to put this coffin to bed?
Yeah, it seems like every time he talks about Texas, he talks about something new, but he always talks with so much excitement about it. Like, I learned so much about this visit. I got to see these guys compete. I got to see how they coach, how they develop. Now I got to see the players that I'll be playing with, or playing with if I go to Texas, or competing against for playing time. Right? He sees the pipeline from Trevor Gooseby. I could be the next left tackle here. He saw the I love when he said, I saw the expectations they expect out of a left tackle here. I love that. The responsibility of being a left tackle at Texas means something. I know his family loved the visit. They rolled out the red carpet for him. His key thing was Texas continues to make it known that he's their guy. He's their franchise player, as Coach Sark said, right? He's the number one on their board. They make him feel wanted more than any other school, but they do it the right way, the way they recruit him. They don't pester him. They don't over-recruit him. They just talk to him about once a week and say, hey, we want you. We want to let you know you're our guy. But on this visit, man, they rolled out the red carpet, and it was phenomenal. He loved it. His family loved it. I think staying close to home is important, right? Because you got younger siblings who want to see him play. I know Dad expressed that. Like, hell,
you saw that big picture of them outside of Moncrief. I didn't realize that family was so big.
Yeah, it was. And so that's huge, right? You get to see your younger siblings get to see you play. And like I said, mom and daddy get to see you play pretty much almost every Saturday. What else could you want? And so I think Ojo, just like his game, he hasn't reached his full potential as far as the ceiling. Man, he has a way to go, but he has NFL left tackle written all over him. And I think being with Coach Kyle Flood is a person you need to go be coached under.
I know he likes watching that pipeline of Kelvin Banks, Trevor Gooseby, and the next man up. And I know that can be enticing. Is it far-fetched for me to say Ohio State and Michigan are probably the top contenders here for Ojo?
Yeah, I would say those are really the top two, only because he has great relationships with both, right? Coach.
Yeah.
Head
and
coach
both that's your last two national champions.
Yeah. You have
Sherrone helps.
Moore, who played offensive line, right? So he said, okay, well, Coach Moore played offensive line. He knows what to expect. He knows how to coach it. Ohio State just won the national championship. They called me after winning. That says a lot, right? The former national championship team wants me. Think I can come in and play and all that. Yeah. But I would say those are the two top teams that I know he wants to take his visit. I know he canceled his visit to Notre Dame today.
Yes,
so he's not going to take that visit, which is huge. Which he told me, I think we reported on it, is like, hey, I'm going to start weeding out some schools. There may be some schools I'll take off my list, right? And so Notre Dame was one.
I love it. And you got to come to Inside Texas, guys. When Charlie Williams starts talking about Felix Ojo and John Turntine, he's getting it from the horse's mouth. It is some of the best coverage we have had at Inside Texas. We are so fired up. I'm going to jump back to defense because we had Samari Matthews, but I felt like it was a little unbalanced. And there's a pretty important 4-star linebacker coming this weekend as well. Kosi Okpala. He's going to be in the house. The Maid Creek linebacker. Look, linebacker recruiting has been kind of fluid, I felt like, this cycle so far. There was a few guys that were up early they liked, Tank King, DeQuivius Beck. Yeah. Feels like they've kind of pivoted to a few other guys, maybe a little bit more upside. We know they love Calvin Thomas, I believe Cy Ranch down in Houston product. But Kosi Okpala, that's the guy I think they have to get in state at linebacker. Before we get into kind of his recruitment, what is it about his game as we're watching it on tape right now that really stands out to you?
Man, his the burst off the line. I mean, he's so quick. Look at the guy tried to cut him, kept his balance. And like, get off me. It's like Ole, move out the way. He comes off the edge faster than most. I love his leverage, man. He keeps his outside shoulder free when he's rushing the passer. Look at the hustle. To come from backside to strip the quarterback there, that's impressive. I mean, he has a motor. You see him in a 2-point stance there, just kind of crashing down and making a play like that. Offensive lineman never had a chance. And so I love that. This game, now we get to see him kind of in space here. It's a bit different. Now he's blitzing from depth. Running back has no chance, and then he comes off and makes the sack. Like that. Yeah. That's the kind of guy you want, right? He has the motor. He's never going to give up. Reminds me of another guy that the Houston area is about to get drafted, and David Bender, right? He got some speed, got some that kind of effort, that kind of motor. I like him.
He's got something Bender doesn't have, length.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it kind of reminds me of a little bit of Smith the Rogbo. I understand they're at different positions, but I kind of get kind of a more suddenness, a little more twitchy sense from Kosi. That's a recruitment where I really feel like it's the big three within this region: Texas A&M, and Oklahoma. We need to get a better sense of where this recruitment is because Kosi likes some of these other schools, out-of-state schools as well. I know Tennessee had been pushing for him, a handful of other ones as well. And so this weekend I think is going to be good to set the foundation of where he's at, where him and Texas are at. I know he feels wanted. I know this is a guy that Johnny Nansen has kind of zeroed in on, him and Calvin Thomas, who we talked about earlier. Yeah. But Kosi's a kid, and I've got to speak to him maybe a couple times. I got to see him at Under Armour in spring last year about this time, I guess. And just a physical guy, great frame, great personality. Just one of those kids that to me is a safe take. Like you just no matter what happens, he's going to be a contributor. He's going to be good in the locker room. He's going to be good in in all those facets that are important to Sark when it comes to culture and things of that sort. And so I'm a big fan of Kosi Okpala. Running back, dude.
Down, man. Wow.
When you're chasing down a running back, you're here for business.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not here for pleasure. You're here for business. And so that is a very, very big deal. Something that we just posted at InsideTexas.com we want to talk about just for a few minutes. We do a closer look at D-line recruiting. And you had posted something earlier as well that talks about, these guys that are coming in this week. And you even got some quotes from these guys already talking about it. So be sure and check that article out. There's another one that popped up that you can check out as well. We look at D-line for 2026. And I'm going to go through a couple of these guys. And I just want you to give me just your first quick thought. We're going to go quick thoughts.
Let's do it.
Hey, Jamian Winfield.
Monster beast. I got two thoughts on him, man. Quick, athletic, big cat. I'm still Leon Lett. Big cat. I'm gonna call him Big Cat.
Big cat. Kitty cat is right. From Mississippi. Committed to USC. What are the chances he signs with USC?
I'm gonna say 10%.
You're going 10%?
I'm going 10%. Hey, look, they jumped in his early recruitment. Thank you, but I just don't think he ends up in California.
I have a very Justice Terry vibe in that recruitment. If people don't remember, he committed to USC about the same time last year. And we saw how that kind of transpired. Here's the next one. And this one's my personal favorite. Vodney Cleveland, Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah. Tell me about, give me something on Vodney.
Man, plugger, two-gap guy, man. He's a big physical kid, stronger point of attack, gets his hands on you, gets rid of blocks, Chev blocks very well. That's a big two-gap. He can play one tech and destroy people.
Absolutely. That one is that's if you look in the dictionary and the word SEC defensive lineman, that's what he looks like. I mean, the dude looks like he's 24 years old right now. He looks like he's played in college the last 4 years and he's getting ready for the league.
Yeah.
This dude is filled out. And I know Kenny Baker has focused on him. He has made Vodney a priority. We broke it about a month ago that he's going to be on campus for an official visit in Austin on June 13th to the 15th. Jamian Winfield is number one on that big board, especially in state.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vodney Cleveland is right there with him. Like those are two guys that we know Texas really, really likes. They really, really want. I've got a guy I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to let you talk about Corey Wells. He's out of Petal, Mississippi, another Mississippi kid. There's something about the Mississippi water, man, because these dudes are just they're coming out of the woodwork. You wrote about Corey Wells earlier. Mm-hmm. For people that were wondering, him and I are not related, even though we do resemble each other in some fashions, and we have similar athleticism. We're not related. Maybe down the road somewhere, second cousin, not sure. But Corey Wells is one that I think is really under the radar. What's your thought real quick on Corey?
Yeah, big, tall, athletic kid. He doesn't know how good he's going to be. I mean, he's 6'4", and a half, almost 6'5", 300 pounds. Man, he moves like an edge or a linebacker sometimes. You can see him, but I think his best football is ahead of him. But he's a big, athletic, strong, fast kid. You look at his tape, chases ball down from behind, physical point of attack, but he's just really getting started. I think it's going to be really, really good.
Corey Wells is going to be in my category for a big ratings jump. If he does well this spring and maybe hits some summer camps and has a good senior year, that's a kid. And we see this every cycle. Could be one of the kids that kind of jumps up. I've got a name I'm going to throw at you. Dylan Berryman. Oh. Dylan Berryman. That's right. Monroe, Louisiana, Ouachita Parish.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much Berryman you've watched. And I'll be totally honest with you. We're in the trust tree. So I'm going to be real. I did not watch a lot of his stuff last year. Texas has been recruiting him since last year. I was a little thrown off by the size because he barely looked like he was 6 foot. And not everyone can be Poona Ford.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't. 6 months later, this kid is measuring almost 6'2", 315 pounds. He's a legit 4-star. He's looking fantastic. He had a great season last year. He's looking fantastic in this during some of these spring Under Armour camps. I like where Texas and Dylan Berryman sit right now. Most people think LSU because of the in-state ties, and that is a completely real narrative. I have a feeling he leaves the state. And I think I think Kenny Baker kind of built the foundation of that recruitment months ago. And I think that's why Texas feels so confident with Dylan Berryman right now. You've seen a little bit of him. What are your quick thoughts on Berryman?
He's a junkyard dog, bowling ball. He gets going forward. He's hard to stop. He's going to bull rush you. He's going to get his hands on you. He plays nasty. He has a nasty attitude, man. I like him a lot. He has a build. I wanted to say Puna for when you said that, but of course he's taller. But he has that kind of build, right? He's sturdy, low to the ground.
Yes.
Leverage, man. But he gets going forward. There's no stopping him. He just relentless effort. So I like him a lot. I think he can be one of those guys, play a 3 technique and kind of shoot the gaps and just get after it.
And this is one of those things also where, we got to trust the staff.
Yeah.
These are the guys they've identified. Texas had other guys in state that they liked. Tiki Hala out of Bastrop. That was a guy they recruited for well over a year. Now I feel like he's probably headed to Notre Dame. I feel like Texas has kind of backed off him. They've gone a little bit more out of state. Don't forget, Kenny Baker's from Georgia. He's from SEC country. So he understands the region and the area, and that's why I believe they've gone farming so much around there. One more name I'm going to throw at you because it wouldn't be a D-line haul without a Florida cat. Kendall Guervell out of Fort Myers, Florida, just set his official visit last week. This is a guy that I just started watching about a week ago. I just kind of started catching some of his tape. If that's not Myron Charles with 2 inches of height, I don't know who is. Like this kid, and it feels like I talked to a couple sources earlier. It feels like it's going to be hard to pull him out of state. Miami and Florida have a really good foundation with that recruitment. Give me something real quick on Guervell.
Man, look, I actually just watched this tape just not too long ago, man. Look, he has that build. He looks like a grown man already. Honestly,
yes.
Like you shed some baby fat off him, and he's gonna be like sculpted. He can look like Justice Terry almost. Like he has that kind of build. He's a big kid, big hands, strong hands. Another athletic guy from the southeast, man, probably chasing rabbits. Who knows? But he got some speed for a big guy. He can get off the ball. He uses his hands very well. Defeats double team blocks very well too. So sometimes he can play a little high because he's a taller guy. But other than that, man, he's an absolute stud in the middle of the defense. You talk about versatility. Like every last one of these guys we talked about always had something different they can do. They can play up and down the line of scrimmage, right? And I feel like Texas is doing that with a lot of guys they're recruiting. You may be a player 5 tech or 4 iron, but man, you may be the one this play on this series, right? So all these guys can do different things. I think they're recruiting NFL style type defensive linemen who can do multiple things. That way you can't game plan. You don't play in the same spot. And he's another guy that adds to that list.
And what we've learned in the last few years is the NFL is coveting these versatile defensive linemen. They don't necessarily want the one guy that does one thing. They want different fronts, different opportunities, different abilities. And so I think that actually bodes well for a lot of these guys. Charlie, this has been another this is probably the best recruiting intel of all time. I mean, this was jam packed, and you brought your A game like usual. You're always there. You may only wear half the hood, but you're always inside Texas. You're always there, Bubba, and that's the way it works. Hey, we're running a special at Inside Texas right now. Come join us for $1. You get 4 months of premium access of InsideTexas.com. And look, that's not just football recruiting. That's basketball recruiting. Yeah. We had a story. We posted a story this morning of Trevor Goosby's little brother, Austin Goosby, just offered by the new staff, Sean Miller and the basketball guys. And so we got a story from him as well. We're covering basketball as well. Baseball, Texas is the number 2 baseball team in the country. Yeah. Could be number 1 right there neck and neck with Arkansas. And then, of course, spring practice, football that really carries the load. And then we'll also have more coming into with recruiting this weekend. I have a defensive line story up. Charlie did a great job with a little bit of a preview of what's coming up. And so try InsideTexas.com. Come see us. Let us earn your money. Give us a shot. $0.25 a month. Yeah. I got to tell you, man, that's about as good as it gets. That we're literally giving it away. But that's how much we love having new members, and our community is top notch. Yeah. Ask anybody. It's one of the best in the country. Charlie, thank you as always. Always a pleasure to see your face. Texas fans and viewers, thank you for making us a part of your day and joining us on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.